Hello, I am Quinny. Welcome to the channel, guys. In this video today, I'm going to be talking about the only games of football I caught any sight of over the weekend. Dortmund hosting Leipzig and Barcelona Seville. On Friday, I previewed both these games as well as two other big matches that happened over the weekend. But unfortunately, these are the only two games I managed to watch myself. Both teams I've grown, I've been following, of course, Leipzig quite strongly now for the last kind of 5 or 6 years. And Barca is one of these teams that every neutral fan has some sort of soft spot for, over the years. Barcelona, I was thinking about this when I was watching Barca and thinking about Xavi and everything that's going on, but Barcelona is this real melting pot of Spanish, Brazilian and Dutch football, like over the years, over my lifetime anyway, in terms of the players, the playing philosophy, the flair, all the stuff that you typically get with a Barca team. Xavi's starting to bring that back into the new camp. They're second in the league already, and I remember when Xavi took over, it was like, oh, if they can get top 4, they'll be doing well. Some turnaround. And equally, Dominic Tedesco, the manager at RB Leipzig, I started following last year when he was at Spartak Moscow, because I had some Jordan Larson cards, and I loved the football that Moscow played. There was so much fun to watch. I must have watched them about 10, 11, 12 times last year, and he's hit the ground running at Leipzig big time. A massive statement win at the weekend over Dortmund, winning 4-1. The goals were absolute worldies. The players, Leipzig have just got this great cohort of Wonderkids all over their squad, and it was a great kind of watershed moment for them to get that big kind of monkey off their back, with Borussia Dortmund being such tight competitors. And normally Borussia Dortmund have, their way with Leipzig over the last couple of years. So with the Barcelona game, the way it went and the ramifications of it in terms of becoming second and jumping over Seville, and when Leipzig, getting that monkey off their back with Dortmund. Both games had a lot on the line. They were a lot of fun to watch, especially if you are aware of the nuance of some of these kind of situations and whatever. So I'll be breaking down both the games, what I enjoyed, and thinking ahead as well to some of the transfers that will be happening at both these clubs, of course, with guys like Nkunku and Ousmane Dembele. At any point in the video, guys, if you do laugh, learn, like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe and share and retweet and all that good stuff. Stay out of trouble, and let's get stuck into it. If you could hit the subscribe button, I do daily global football content, everything from Wonderkids and Rising Star Managers to fantasy football and watch-alongs. That will also automatically enter you into my April giveaway. This month, I'm giving away a 1 of 100 Belgium Youth International, Ewood Pletench, and 2 limited goalkeepers. If you want to stick around to the end of the video, we'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Moan the Bulls! We'll start with Leipzig, okay? So, a fantastic result, ran out 4-1 winners away to Dortmund, and like I said in the intro, it's a real monkey off the back for Leipzig, because going to Dortmund is normally not a fun encounter. They've maybe arguably had a wee bit more light at the end of the tunnel, if you like, when playing Bayern Munich, because the games sometimes have been a wee bit tighter. But Dortmund, when Sancho's been there and Haaland's been on form, they've generally had a good run at Leipzig. And going into the game, Dortmund had fantastic home form, even though Marco Rose, like I was saying in the preview, hasn't had a great time of it at Dortmund in particular. The home form has been there, so 4-1 winners. All the goals were incredible. I think Dani Olmo's goal is going to be overlooked because it was 3-1 at that point, and the amount of space Dani Olmo had, Dortmund, like I said, every goal Dortmund concede that I've seen has been some sort of transition goal, when they're having to recover, retreat and regain defensive position. If they're against a team that can put them on the back foot, make quick smart passes and be intelligent in play and know where the space is, know where the best option is, then they get cut open. Dortmund, we've seen that all season. And Leipzig done that for fun, I was surprised how quickly Leipzig got a foothold in the game. Conrad Leimer played the best game I think I've ever seen him play. And if Tedesco can get that kind of form out of Leimer, then he's going to become, a real powerhouse in that team, because that's one thing they've been missing from central midfield that you don't really get from Campo, you don't really get from Haidara or Adams, is that real box-to-box end product, who can contribute with goals and assists, and it was a lovely chip, and I don't think Conrad Leimer is going to expect to get 3 decisives every game, but if he can pop up with a decisive every 2 games or once a game on average across a 20-game span, then he is going to become a very important player to helping Leipzig really kick on and get into that top tier that's been kind of hunted down by the club over the last 4 years in particular. I think RB Leipzig's defence is probably the most slept-on defence in European football. The back three of Simikan, Orban and Guardiola, if you were to football manager it, and write who would be the perfect back three in terms of profile, attributes, all that kind of stuff, you wouldn't be too far off this back three. And the thing that really impresses me the most, of course, Simikan and Guardiola especially are really young, but they're both just arrived at the club. They're brand new in the door. They've not been playing Bundesliga football for 2 or 3 seasons like some of these other guys are. They're brand new in the door. Simikan coming in from France and Guardiola coming in from Croatia. And fair enough, they're high prospect, elite youth players. That's why Leipzig are signing them. But for them to hit the ground running in a back three in such a difficult league, really prosper and shine. And, you know, they're both really good at playing those forward passes that get the team up 10-15 yards really quickly in transition. And the freedom that the forward players have got, when you've got that great link up between a back three that can pass right foots and left foots and all that kind of stuff, as well as being defensively resolute, recover positions, win your duels, and play sensible passes and not take risks. Like, they've got such a great defence, and they're maybe just missing. We're talking about Konrad Laimer really stepping up to be maybe the number 1, number 8 in that team. But I think once we really see somebody like Adams or Haidara, once we see one of them really, or maybe they sign somebody else to come in, a defensive midfielder that's of a higher standard, then I think that might be the last piece of the jigsaw. And as long as they don't lose somebody like Nkunku or Olmo, potentially to Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Man City, any of these big teams, because the attacking players that Leipzig are fostering, like, tick the boxes of all the big scout clubs in European football in terms of the way they attack, the way they play, the way they link up, the energy they've got, the defensive contribution they make in the attacking third is sensational. So I think Leipzig are a really top shelf defensive midfielder away with that back three that they've just constructed. The wing backs are lovely. You know, they've got great choices on the right between Henriks and Mukiele, depending on the opposition they've got. And Angelino, again, who could be going to Barcelona, who knows, is an amazing left back who's set piece capable and just a really tidy player, takes instruction well. And we've seen throughout his career that in the right situation, he can be amongst the deadliest left backs in European football. Not the best, you know, he's definitely not best in the world or anything like that, Angelino, but he's very capable of being effective at the top level. And once you've got that kind of platform, that's what allows Nkunku to come into this team, play that Werner role, and get the numbers he's getting. Now, the thing with that Werner role in Leipzig, and we've seen it with Timo Werner at Chelsea, is when you do move on from that situation, you need to be really careful what team you're moving to, what the philosophy is, and what position you're going to be playing in it. Because as we've seen with Werner in the Premier League, and you can make the argument it's the Premier League to Bundesliga. I don't think that's the case. It's more the job. You know, if Chelsea played the exact same as Leipzig in terms of formation and tactics and whatever, and we have seen little bits of that under Tuchel, and that's when Werner has been good, you know. So Nkunku, as much as he's doing amazing, I'm really aware of he's very dependent at the moment on being in Leipzig to produce these numbers, because if he goes somewhere and becomes a left winger or something like that, you're not going to get as much of this production out of him. Same with maybe Olmo to an extent as well. Because these forward players at Leipzig, which is how they're able to kill Dortmund in this game, they love to pick up pockets of space. They're super intelligent. They're all about the same age range, and they've got the same motivations in their career to go on internationally, etc. And they gel together so well. And some of these guys have been playing Bundesliga football now for, you know, at least 1 or 2 seasons. Dani Olmo, Nkunku, Andre Silva, and they've still got guys knocking about the club like Solobay, Emil Forsberg, who are top end guys who can't really get into the best 11. So I've had a lot of fun watching Leipzig in this match, and it really feels, like I said in the intro, like a watershed moment, that having got this Dortmund monkey off their back, maybe they can go and kick on. I expect them to really kick on against Atalanta in the midweek, and they're going to want to win a trophy, you know, this season to really cap off this progression that I really feel they've made this year. Maybe Jesse Marsch did some good stuff in the coaching room before he was departed, but it really feels like Tedesco is the man that is really capable of carrying on the position that Nagelsmann brought the club into. And I really can't wait to watch them in European action this week. It was tons of fun to watch them at the weekend against Dortmund. And if you haven't watched much Leipzig this year, then I highly recommend you do. And I've got to say, guys, I pretty much called the Barca game down to a T, I think, you know. Turn up for the second half, guys. That's all you had to do. And really tight game. Seville did their absolute best. And they are really missing some star quality in the final third. When you look at the chances that they created for themselves in counter-attack in particular, Ter Stegen made some really good saves, don't get me wrong. But, like, decision-making from Little Campos and Martial in particular, like, you know, they could have had a goal or two in this game very feasibly. Joan Jordan was wide open. Eric Lamela takes a shot. Absolute doofus. But Barca, you know, are good for it. And Xavi, like, you know, when you see the goal go in, Pedri, wonder goal. Very similar to Leipzig, and I said that in the tip-off to the weekend, is like they're big watershed moment matches, you know. Them now going second in the league, overtaking Sevilla. And again, like I said in the intro, like, no one thought Xavi would be really breaking top 4, top 3 with the state the Barca team was in. But what a tune he's getting out of the players that were like floundering under Koeman, or the ones that were written off in general. Or, you know, like Pedri didn't start the season, he was injured for a long time, so it's good to see him back in action and actually doing his thing. But after this game, when it comes to Barca, I'm just covered with question marks in terms of the forward line. Quite clear to me now, all question marks are gone. Depay is not in. Xavi's plans. That goes without saying now. I think at this point you only got like 5 minutes at the end in a really tight match, a really big tight match. You know, we've seen him come off the bench to try and change tight matches before, but it's been against like lesser opposition, whereas in this case he was like really held off to the end. And that'll be down to, you know, Ferran Torres is really coming into this David Villa role again, similar to what we're talking about with Nkunku, I suppose, but Ferran Torres has really taken to that role over the last 3 or 4 matches, and that was a joy to watch that kind of play. Ronald Araujo coming back into centre back and allowing Dani Alves onto the pitch was a great tandem to see, you know, and I think the commentary team and all that, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was liking it to the whole Puyol Dani Alves kind of link up, which is cool. But Dani Alves at 38, how much longer can he keep that up for? So overall, Barca, like, yeah, very exciting to kind of see them in this match really come out of it with the win, and it did take a world of a goal to achieve it, of course, but it's matches like this that start off a legacy. It's matches like this that start off successful runs with a manager, with a group of players, and to really dig in against a top quality Seville team and, you know, get the result when it was needed at home as well, under the floodlights, and I believe there was snow in Barcelona, so chilly conditions as well, is an absolutely fantastic result. I don't know what they're going to do with Aubameyang. Are they going to try and keep him, or, you know, Morata's been linked in as well. There's a lot of question marks that's going on in the front line at Barcelona. Dembele, like, I did a video on it last week. It felt like Dembele was signed, sealed and delivered going to Paris, but when, you know, good performance, didn't really come out of it with a decisive or anything like that, but we've now seen like 5 or 6 games of Ousmane Dembele showing up for Barca, not getting injured, not getting stupid red cards for like daft fouls and whatever. He's helping back out. He was getting back involved with Dani Alves, trying to bail him out when he could, using his younger legs to carry him. And when he gets subbed off, standing ovation from the new camp. And like, we watch a lot of football, you probably do as well, right? You see players get subbed off and get standing ovations and whatever, and it's just like looking at their teammate, looking at the manager, and it's just handshakes and maybe a wee pirouette and a spin round. But he was really like looking like, wow, this is like, these guys are back on board with me. I would not be surprised to see a massive U-turn in Dembele stay at Barca, because what Dembele can do when he's on form, like, there's no one else really knocking around world football that you would say, oh yeah, he's carbon copy Dembele, like 2-footed, tricky, rapidly quick, you know, complements that Barca team no end. So I don't know if they've got some sort of, you know, maybe he is still going to go to PSG and they're going to get Fati in to do that job, so still get Ansu Fati knocking about. But I think it's just raised so many question marks for how they're going to progress their forward line. It feels like the midfield is pretty set now with Pedri, De Jong and Busquets, and obviously they've got a job now replacing Busquets and integrating Frank Kessie into this midfield because he's signed on for next year. The right back situation, Dest seems to be leaving, Mazraoui seems to be coming in, Dani Alves can't play much longer, we know. But I say it's really that forward line that I'm going to be really paying close attention to with Barcelona over the next couple of matches when I watch them. They're going to wait at Frankfurt on Thursday night in the Europa League, and again, Xavi will want to win that competition. They're 9 points behind Real Madrid now. I don't think a title challenge is going to, it's not off the table, but I wouldn't say it's on the cards. Whereas the Europa League, they could win that, and that could really, again, we've seen it with Klopp at Liverpool. Unfortunately, they lost their first 2 cup finals, I think it was, but they got like Europa League Cup final, and then they got Champions League Cup final. But again, it doesn't matter, it's the Europa League, you know, a lot of people that don't get involved in that competition, fans wise, you know, kind of snob down at it or look their nose down at it. But to win the Europa League is a massive thing. Barcelona, if you look at their trophy cabinet, before the Messi era, they've not got that much going on, you know. So another Europa League, especially to start off Xavi's first 6 months or whatever it will be at that point in charge, would be a fantastic milestone, a fantastic bookend to this kind of transition period that they've been going through with the whole Messi thing and everything else. And with like both these teams, I'm, you know, I say Barca, like I said in the intro, like a neutral fan, every neutral fan, because of Messi, because of Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Romario, Rivaldo, you know, all the guys over the years that Barca have had in their club, a lot of neutral fans, every neutral fan's got a soft spot for Barca, and I really feel this extra kind of, you know, I really love watching Barca and Leipzig at the moment because they are just covered in young, modern, exciting, motivated, ambitious players that are technically beautiful to watch, you know, and the formations they're playing with, the manager they've got, etc. So I feel 2 real European powerhouses coming out. Maybe this could be the Europa League final. That would be sensational. Maybe it's a semi-final, or maybe the trees panned out. I've not looked that far ahead. But I had a great time watching both these matches, and I'll be keeping a really close eye on developments from both clubs over the next couple of weeks especially. Let me know, guys, in the comment section down below what you think. Did you watch either of these matches? Is there any players that I've spoke about you'd want to go into more detail about, etc, etc? Let it be known in the comment section down below. I hope you've had fun. Like, subscribe, share, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. let's get into all the giveaway stuff before I let you go. I'm still doing monthly giveaways and I'm making it easier to enter. If you want to be entered to win this month's prize or any future giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button, you need to be a subscriber to enter, then leave a comment down below. Each month, a random comment from a random video will be selected as the winner, so the more videos you leave a comment on, the better the chance you've got of winning any of my giveaways. All the winners are announced at the end of videos the same way as we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. As always guys, if you've enjoyed the video today, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. On screen now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.